Ashe, Ashe, eternity and immortality to all the souls on this hero's journey. We're going to jump right into this book, The Cosmic Science of the Ancient Masters by Professor Hilton Hotema. This is another fantastic book. We're going to jump right into it, chapter 8, called The Resurrection. This is an excerpt out of there. It reads, "It is amazing to learn how literally the gospel compilers copied from ancient writings. Then they concealed the evidence of their plagiarism by destroying the old manuscripts. But the stone monuments of antiquity were not destroyed, and at last they have yielded up their secrets, and the greatest fraud in history now stands exposed." We're living in a fantastic time to be existing as a soul with the opportunity to soul search and seek higher knowledge and seek ourselves in our truest aspect, in our truest essence, from where we come from. In referring to this fable, Gerald Massey says, Asar and Anu, like Lazarus in Bethany, was not dead, but sleeping. Horace cones to awaken Asar out of sleep. He continues, in one of the earlier funeral texts, it is said of the sleeping Asar, the great one waketh, the great one riseth. Us, the soul, the dark night rises. The mains in a menta, the subconscious mind, the soul, the dark aspects of the soul, were not regarded as dead, but as sleeping. These are these latent forces we always are talking about and mentioning. These 72 demons of Goetia, the unmanifest, the quantum realms, breathless of body, motionless of heart. Hence, Horus comes to awaken the sleepers in their coffins. The light bringer, Lucifer, Platonius cites a clear presentiment of the ancient Greek conception of the imprisonment of spirit in matter. Let's read that one more time. Of the ancient Greek conception, and this is why we have to study ancient mythology, because this is all around the world of the entire aspect of the soul incarnated in the physical body and coming and trapping into the five senses, opposed to being an unlimited sense being from eternity and beyond. When the soul, individualized spirit, had descended into generation, it partook of evil and is carried a great way into a state the opposite of its first purity, primordial essence, the darkness, to be merged in it. And death to the soul is, while it is baptized or immersed in the material body, to descend into matter and be wholly subjected to it. This is what is meant by falling asleep in Hades. And here appears the true basic meaning of the word baptized. The ancient masters taught that to incarnate was to be plunged, baptized into the watery condition of the body. That is the fundamental definition of baptism in ancient philosophy. The buried Osiris, symbolized the soul buried in matter, the five senses, the body, the anatomy of man, Allah, arm, leg, arm, head, not the body buried in a grave. The grave was the topography used to designate the non-historical burial in the body. Stobius has preserved a fragment of Themistocles, which says, then the soul suffers a passion such as that of those who are undergoing initiation into the greater mysteries, higher knowledge, occult knowledge. Wherefore also there is a corresponding of word to word and act to act in Teletuian being dying and Teletizing into initiation with reference to the Dionysic or Eleusinian mysteries. Let me go back over these words because reading these fast, it's kind of hard to pronounce them. I'm going to go back so you guys can research these words. Telutan, Teleutan, Teleutan, Tleisthai, and Teleutan being dying in parentheses, and Telestai, initiation. And we had the last video, a few videos about self-initiation, basically initiating and choosing yourself to be chosen on this journey to be an ascended master. The true facts are that in their science, the ancient masters taught the unity of spirit and the continuity of life, coagulation, That's alchemy. The great work, the philosopher's stone, that's raising the kundalini, the bindu seed back up the spine, up the third eye and out the crown chakra. And that's being connected to the overall source again. Masters taught that the unity of spirit in the continuity of life and the continuity of life experience. Not only do we have to research and study and get on scholarly bases and theories and mythology, but we also have to experience. We also have to truly go within the darkest aspects of ourselves as much as possible to try to understand the mysteries of the self, of the higher self, of the cosmos, of the cosmic primordial essence of where we come from. According to their philosophy, the immortality of life is proved in the same way as the indestructibility of matter. Our primordial genetics are indestructible and we're transforming into more indestructible perfection. We cannot die. There's no such thing as death. There's only transformation. The masters taught that man lives as a spiritual being, that the breath of life energizes his body and makes him a living creature. Genesis 2:7. That is the spirit which animates the body. John chapter 6, verse 63. And that the body is the physical prison of the soul. Let me read that one more time. The masters taught that man lives as a spiritual being, that the breath of life energizes his body and makes him a living creature. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. That is the spirit which animates the body. John chapter 6, verse 63. And that the body is the physical prison of the soul. In death, the soul is released from its prison, the transformation back to its primordial essence, and returns unto God who gave it. Ecclesiastes chapters 12, verse 7. And these are the esoteric understandings of the esoteric scripture, which comes from the three Abrahamic religions. The great consummation of all philosophy is death. Once you can start contemplating and having introspection about death, your mind starts to open up and you have a different outlook and perspective on reality, quote unquote, from the egotistical realm. You can see that there's something beyond what we are accustomed to on a day-to-day basis, working a 9-to-5 job, going to school, learning these different trades and things that even from a human aspect still have to come from somewhere else. Because, if we come from these primal states, these primitive states of what they say, then we still would have to been learning from, what. Socrates, and he added, he who pursues philosophy aright is studying how death releases the soul from its earthly prison. This ancient teaching has been lost and destroyed, and today man thinks he is a material being because physical science so declares. The masters taught that as we lie down in our sleep, term death, in parentheses transition, we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, true time, true energy, true space, true matter, and we shall be raised incorruptible as spiritual beings in the future life, immortal and eternal. And this is also in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 50 through 55. This is amazing. Immortal and eternal. What else is there to seek? The opportunity to seek immortality and eternal existence is the greatest opportunity a soul could ever ask for. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a time in quote unquote real Akashic record history and memory to really change the outlook of our souls in time. We have to really put our soul's energies first before anything and be the main priority in our soul's existence, to be able to even share and give back to other souls in our soul family that is out here on the same mission as we are. And for the masses, when it's time for them to see these miracles that are going to be undeniable and inevitable, and nobody's going to be able to debate or argue these miracles that are going to be happening. All these sci-fi movies, all this predictable programming that they've been doing has been getting all the masses in the brain ready to be able to have pre-programmed reactions to these different type of things when they try to mix in the Project Bluebeam holograms with actual natural cosmic forces that are manifesting from within us. And they're going to have you looking for external saviors and messiahs when it's actually within us. Excuse me. I'm going to read this one more time. This ancient teaching has been lost and destroyed. And today man thinks he is a material being because physical science so declares. The masters taught that as we lie down in our last sleep, term death, transition, we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, and we shall be raised incorruptible as spiritual beings in the future life, immortal and eternal. For as matter is both indestructible and eternal, declared the masters, life could not be less. And that's where you get to saying energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Ye must be born again, except a man be born again, he cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. And this is actually another verse out of the Bible, John chapter 3, verse 3 and verse 7. And these are esoteric understandings that could be the transformation, the alchemical transformation of the soul back into the natural essence of itself, the non-physical essence before we fell into a lower vibratory rate of matter. Transition, termed physical death or physical dissolution, is the mysterious, little understood but natural process of being born again, the Euros Burrows, the eternal eternity. Resurrection, the Christ within, as taught by the ancient masters, just as much and certain for man as for grains of wheat and corn. For these are all is all is within all. Everything is everything. For these are all a part of nature and subject to the powers of the same universal law. Even in the midst of the illusion and the physical entrapment of the body, the soul in the body, can you really pierce through the fog and analyze and discern miracles that will allow you to grow in your subconscious to manifest nothing but perfected experiences for you to grow from and learn from, and still have the opportunity to continue to perfect perfection. To perfect perfection, we have the opportunity to continue to make perfection more perfect. And I wanted to read an excerpt out of the Hermetica before I end this video, just kind of piggybacking off the same topic that we've been speaking about in this video. The highest entities mentioned in the oracles are a first paternal intellect, absolutely transcendent, a second demiurgic intellect who proceeds from the Father and knows the cosmos as well as himself. And within the first intellect, a female power called Hecate, who produces or is the world soul. So once again, you have to research soul, spirit. These are feminine aspects. The Shekinah, this is the Kundalini energy, is a serpentine, sexual, energetic force. This is a powerful, destructive force. It is the entire cycle of nature. If you study the aspect of nature, nature can be very destructive as well as very nurturing. It's the perfection of the cycle. At the nether end of the all lies matter, made by the demiurge. The physical world is a foul tomb and a jail from which the higher human soul must escape. We must kill the ego. We must detach from the physical body, and being attached to physical senses and being attached to human morals and dogmas and religions and teachings that have nothing to do with our souls truly being in natural, primordial, spiritual essence. Shedding the lower soul's vehicle or garment acquired during its descent through the stars and planets, the Nephilim, the fallen angels, the fallen primordial titans, the Satans, the Satans. And I want to read one more excerpt from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. That is, again, what they would call in scripture precept after precept. This is from the chapter The Keys of Wisdom. Harkye, O man, and listen to this wisdom. Where do name and form cease? Form, physical matter, the two eyes, the two physical eyes, the arm, leg, arm, head, the five physical senses, the four elements, with the fifth being the spirit, mastery of the cosmic anatomy of the soul incarnate in man, the star in body. Harkye, O man, and listen to this wisdom. Where do name, identity, ego, and form cease? Physical form, physical body, the man and the woman. We're talking about becoming androgynous entity, the masculine and feminine being merged, coagulated as one. Again, the seeking the oneness, the higher self. Only in consciousness, invisible, invisible, invisible. Only in consciousness. So you can have consciousness in the invisible space and energy, the unmanifest, the quantum realms of complete primordial power. Only in consciousness, invisible, an infinite force of radiance bright, the light within, the darkness. You can only get true luminescent light going within the darkness, the primordial darkness, before physical creation, before the physical sun out there was created. The sun within the sun, right here. Now, this is crazy. Harkye, O man, and listen to this wisdom. Knowledge of yourself. Know thyself, knowing self. Where do name and form cease? Only in consciousness, invisible, an infinite, eternal force of radiance bright. This is where you get the depictions of Jesus and all the disciples with the halo around the head, raising the Kundalini energy up, the Uraeus energy, the sleeping soul, the sleeping giant, the sleeping titan, the dark night soul in the bottom of the solar plexus, the spine, the spinal cord, and the stairway, the gateway to heaven, up the spinal cord, the hero's journey back up top to God's throne, the third eye to eternity and beyond. I'm sorry, y'all. I be getting excited, stuttering. I be playing out what I'm gonna say, and then reacting to what I think I'm gonna say before I even say what I say on the camera. So it's like I'm playing out scenarios while still reading and talking this out to you, while still playing out the next thing I'm gonna say and read, while still, playing back what I'm reading in the moment. All three phases of time in one. Future, past, and present in one. This shit is getting amazing. Excuse my language. The forms that ye create by brightening thy vision are truly effects that follow thy cause. What you seek, you will find. How bad do you really want the truth? How bad do you really want your higher self? Everybody claims they want perfection and the higher self and the golden age and yada yada, all this. But do you really want it? Everybody wants the truth. But if you get hit with the truth, are you really going to accept it, or are you going to turn a blind eye? The truth hurts. The truth is stranger than fiction. The darkness is nothing to play with. It is very terrifying, but it is very revealing as well. There's a lot of understanding in the darkness. Man is a star bound to a body until in the end he is free through his strife. A lot of people that are truly on this soul searching journey have went through a lot of pain and struggle in this physical incarnation and experience that allows them to wake up and man, this got to be something more than this. Death is what got me started thinking and wanting and looking more than what are we doing here? What is my purpose? Where do I come from? What is this? Where do I go after I die? Ask some questions, man. Man is a star bound to a body until in the end he is freed. He is freed through his strife. You got to want it. You got to want your higher self. Only by struggle and toiling, wholeheartedness, thy utmost shall the star within thee bloom out, the lotus flower in new life, out the crown chakra, the lotus flower out the crown chakra. He who knows the commencement of all things, knowledge of self, free is his star from the realm of night. I appreciate everybody that's been tapping in. The support has been beyond expectations lately. I mean, miracles on miracles. I have a lot to share. I have a lot of books I want to share and read from. I have a lot of gematria and numerology I want to share and give out. A lot of things that I can share from experience that allows you and yourself to look yourself in the mirror and become your own guru, empower yourself up and become that primordial titan superhero, anything you can think of beyond your imagination, perfect soul and being and an entity and everything you could possibly think of and beyond. You got to love yourself. You got to love this journey. This journey is the true reward. The reward is this journey. It's the journey itself, the miracle after miracle experience moment that you get to have this opportunity to keep seeking, to keep growing, to keep understanding yourself in every aspect possible. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy. And I appreciate your soul connection. Ashe.